All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between LawLiet and Chaemiko, taking place here on Boulder Vale. Chaemiko spawning as the blue human over here on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom left-hand side, we have Chaemiko or LawLiet spawning as the yellow night elf. Well, a little bit too far. There you go. There's good. Like, I feel like one click more would be better. Actually, that's not bad. All right, let's go ahead and use this focal length. So, game Night Elf versus Human, LawLiet versus Chaemiko. And, well, Chaemiko opening things up with the standard Altar of Kings Barracks farm right there. Meanwhile, Ancient of War next to the Sea Elemental, this 532 creep camp. 532, I believe, is still, yes, that's the lowest orange creep camp you can have. At 531, I believe you do turn into a green creep camp in terms of level right there. Some places, really, I think they should have done a little bit of a different job in terms of coloring those creep camps. Um, at a at 533, I think that should be green, because at any point after that, uh, you automatically level up when you are creeping with a level 1 hero. So just one of those ways. Hey, you have a green creep camp, or maybe a different step and another color besides between orange and red would definitely help out. But for players who don't know the maps, they could quickly take a look and go, oh, if I go after a green creep camp first, I will not get to level 2. Two green creep camps will get me to level 2. An orange creep camp could get me to level 2 immediately. But then you also run into the problem where like you get larger orange creep camps, so well, difficult to say what way is best. Anyways, Archmage going up against a Warden here. LawLiet opting for Warden first, and the Warden is, well, known to be a very, well, allergic, or rather, peasants are allergic to the Warden. They just seem to always fall down whenever. Next, as we're going to see the Sea Elemental get taken down. All right, Sea Elemental taken down. Claws of Attack +5 not picked up by the Warden. They're going to go ahead and go after it here. Are we perhaps going to see a Shadow Strike? No, no Shadow Strike. LawLiet wasn't paying enough attention, and well, didn't attack that footman when it was nicely gift wrapped. That footman now perhaps going to try and back away. Oh, 532 gave. Was there another kill that I didn't see earlier? Or was there another creep in there that I didn't see? Let me know in the comments below. I thought I saw a 532 and that was it. Perhaps there was a 5322, and then that way orange would actually get me to level 2. All right, so 5411. Yeah, so this orange creep camp would also give level 2 immediately. Ancient of War right here by LawLiet. Gonna go ahead and start training up. There's a little bit of damage. Warden gonna come back around. Archer purposely playing a little bit of a strange game. Are we gonna see a Shadow Strike? Yeah, Shadow Strike onto this footman. Footman gonna take quite a bit of damage here, and now down to 82 hit points. I believe 2 more shots or a little bit more time. 1 more shot by that Warden will finish it off here. Archer does get trained up. Ancient of War should uproot, eat through these trees, and then the Warden should be that much closer to level 3. Meanwhile, off to the north, Archmage of Chaemiko already rushing in and to put in pressure. No Shadow Strike. So the Warden not just looking to retreat back here. Does have a Cloak of Shadows. Could use that Cloak of Shadows during the day to Shadow Meld, or, well, not Shadow Meld. Does it actually use a different ability? Or does it replace and just turn on the fact that you can use it during the day? All right, Warden sitting at level 2, gonna go ahead and Shadow Meld right there, and now hide itself. We are getting up an Arcane Tower. Footman and Water Elementals getting in a little bit of damage. No fan of knives that I see. Meanwhile, down across over here, archers are engaging. There's a lot of repairs. There's a Staff of Teleportation inbound, and that is going to be some big damage. There's another Water Elemental right there. Archmage, who's going to get the final shot off? Now going after this Water Elemental here. That is a lot of repairs. Staff of Teleportation inbound, and now the Warden perhaps going to use some, yes, Moon Wells, and perhaps try and come back across here. Are we going to be looking at Blink? That is the question. Warden now trying to come back across. There's the detonation. Takes down the Water Elemental. Ancient of War gets taken down, and now what is the Warden hoping to do? Warden really wants to get to level 3. Perhaps once it gets to level 3, it should be able to get some bigger level 2 Shadow Strikes down, as the archers are going to perhaps try and Shadow Meld. One archer going to go ahead and heal back up. Warden still sitting at level 2. Really wants to clear out the remainder of this creep camp, get to level 3. Once it has level 3, be able to use level 2 Shadow Strike effectively, as this Dark Berserker absorbing quite a bit of damage. Archer going to go ahead and Shadow Meld down to 186 hit points. All right, there's level 3 already on the Warden. Level 2 Shadow Strike going down onto the Archmage. Archmage could be in trouble, and well, one Cloak of Shadows deserves another. Archmage down to 149 hit points. There's a reveal. There's a Shadow Strike and lingering damage. Oh, wow. Okay, so I thought the Shadow Strike actually... did the Shadow Strike hit the Warden, or hit the Archmage, and then in the time he cast the Scroll of Town Portal so that the Archmage didn't take damage? Can you guys rewind that for me and let me know if that's exactly what happened? Because I know the Shadow Strike ability got applied to the Archmage, but the 150 initial damage didn't look like it actually hit, unless it was just that close. And then the long-term damage over time was completely negated. As we're looking at, well, Warden now perhaps going to try and engage here. Now, Warden does have level 2 Shadow Strike, does not have Blink yet. Archer's trying to get some damage onto that Arcane Tower, and we're going to be looking at some repairs now coming back across. All right, there's another Shadow Strike onto the Archmage. Archmage down to 265 hit points. That's going to be a Staff of Teleportation right there. It's going to go ahead and outbound. Meanwhile, Warden could be in a little bit of trouble, does have some cold arrows. Warden and just more units just trying to get picked off here. Meanwhile, Archer is trying to finish off a couple of these peasants, as a Goblin Shredder now making its way over to act as a little bit of a deterrent. All right, trying to get some damage across all of these units. There's a Cloak of Shadows, and that's absolutely hilarious. Breaking free here. Warden going to go ahead and transfer the Staff of Teleportation over, and now the Warden's just going to like hide back across here. The archers are now retreating back. There is a reveal. Staff of Teleportation outbound from the Naga Sea Witch, and so many item transfers as well. This is actually making for a rather cute fight. All right, Goblin Shredder down to 178 hit points. We're going to see a Blacksmith now get pummeled down to nothing as the Warden makes its way off to the north. A lot of action going back and forth here. 31 over 40 supply at tier 2. Dryads going to try and make an appearance, but it's going to be a little bit late unless they can get that Abolish Magic and pretty much, well, puff out all of those water elementals. We're looking at 33 supply compared to 43. Chaemiko having the supply advantage. No big surprise there. Only level 2 Shadow Strike. Hasn't trained up a third or used that third talent point yet. Naga Sea Witch making its way across here. And there, that, well, Archmage could be in trouble. Are we going to see a Shadow Strike go down? Yes, Shadow Strike onto the Goblin Zeppelin. Units are going up here, and now we're going to see the Goblin Zeppelin take quite a bit of damage. Goblin Sapper is trying to make its way over. Is it going to get body blocked there? Takes down a peasant, and now retreats back. All right, it was trying to perhaps take down these Arcane Towers, unable to do exactly that. Archmage now Scroll of Regeneration, Clarity Potion, well, gonna hide in that Goblin Zeppelin to try and heal back up once more. Meanwhile, Ancient of War absorbing damage. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 1. We're looking at the Goblin Merchant Shop getting cleared here. Ancient of War taking quite a bit of damage here. Is it going to get taken out? I do believe so. I believe it actually auto-attacked onto a different target to lose a bit of aggro. And now the Ancient of War looks like it's going to hold steady down to 37 hit points. And wow, nearly taken out. So Ancient of War doing its thing, healing up damage as we see the Dryads now making their rounds out. Are we going to see some Abolish Magic? No. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Naga Sea Witch coming back across. Are we going to wait? Are we going to see that Abolish Magic? No, haven't seen it just quite yet. We're looking at Goblin Zeppelin trying to find where, the reveal, trying to find where that Goblin Zeppelin is going. Goblin Zeppelin going to go ahead and retreat all the way back once more. We could have a drop inside the base. Reveal up onto the high ground, and the Dryads are still nearby. Naga Sea Witch could burst this down here. Goblin Zeppelin, well, making its way across, and here we are dropping straight up inside the space. Goblin Zeppelin trying to retreat. There's one detonation. Goblin Shredder now making its retreat back again. As well, no Ancient of Wind means no Hippogriff to try and protect from this Goblin Zeppelin elevator drop. Ancient of War slowly making its way across here. Don't see Nature's Blessing. Instead, taking the tier 3. We could be looking at Druids of the Claw, Adept training in the Mastery for Rejuvenation, and a little bit of frontline tanking as this Ancient of War now looking to back up. All right, One footman just completely hidden inside the, or hidden off on the side here. We're going to be looking at a lot of damage going down onto that footman. Slow poison coupled with shadow strike. That footman never really stood a chance. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 2. Ancient of War going to get cleaned up, slowly making its way over here to the Arcane Tower. And what would be funny is if the Arcane Tower or a Guard Tower actually got the last hit, denying experience. But no, Mountain King on the board now with 13 experience as well. 48 supply compared to 45. Tier 3 nearing completion. Druids of the Claw getting added in. Boulder onto the Archmage. Mountain King wants to get to level 2. We're looking at Druids of the Claw joining in on the onto the battlefield here, and they are already going to have adept training, so they're going to have rejuvenation for a little bit of follow-up play. There's a bit of damage. Archmage could have a bit of trouble here. Warden, are we going to see some abolished magic? No, Staff of Preservation, and there's the abolished magic. Stormbolt onto the Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch down to 13 hit points. That is a Staff of Sanctuary. Chaemiko's already at tier 3. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Naga Sea Witch trying to Staff of Teleportation around, and it's going to reposition here. Down to 40 hit points, down to 8. It's going to end up surviving. Units are going to retreat back, and well, Druid of the Claw, this Dryad needs to fall back here. We're going to see a rejuvenation go down onto the Naga Sea Witch for a very quick rinse and repeat. Mastery training should already be started, and the Druids of the Claw will be bringing in large amounts of damage. That is one of the best benefits of Night Elf and their Druids of the Claw. They're able to train at tier 2, and then right as you have mastery training done at tier 3, you can have 3 bears in fighting mode already at your opponent's front door. All right, mastery training nearly done here. Tree of Life going to get cleaned up by Chaemiko. So LawLiet is behind economically and needs to consider his options. Druid of the Claw continuing to fight back and forth here. Mountain King could have a very bad day. Are we going to have a Goblin Zeppelin? Stormbolt onto the Warden right there, and we're still seeing more damage. Goblin Zeppelin going to try an elevator and going to be able to do exactly that. Warden does not have Boots of Speed. Going to try and catch up to all of these units again. There's a Staff of Preservation bringing the Warden to grab an Orb of Venom. So now we'll be able to shoot up and take down that Goblin Zeppelin if it is trying to do some more elevator micro as well. Level 3, level 4, level 3 going up against 3-2-1. There's another abolished magic. Warden closer or getting more experience again, and we're going to be looking at, well, some more creep camps perhaps to clear out. We're looking at the Sasquatch creep camp attempting to get cleared out. Druids of the Claw staying purposely in druid form. They are mainly here not to deal damage or soak up damage, but to have mana and then be able to use rejuvenation up on these upcoming fights. All right, Dark Troll High Priest did cast Sleep onto one of those Druids of the Claw, and well, we're looking at Chaemiko continuing to build on his economic advantage. Level 3, level 2, level 1, going up against a potential, well, no, it doesn't look like any additional leveling up here. Druids of the Claw are in that fighting form. Rejuvenation onto that Furborg there. There goes one of those units again. Well, plenty of mana on that Warden. Orb of Venom dealing damage over time. More rejuvenation coming across. The Warden still staying at level 3. Warsong Battle Drums going to give a 7% damage bonus to all the units here. Also a Tome of Strength, perhaps going to get picked up by Warden or Naga Sea Witch. Nope, Warden picks it up for a little bit more hit points as well. Chaemiko using this opportunity with the scouting information on this flying machine to clear out a red creep camp as well. Knights do not have animal war training yet. That will be queued up right behind this. 73 supply over 82 compared to 48 over 50. Things are not looking good as siege engines are rolling on over. Ancient of Wonders quickly gets taken out, and then the Goblin Zeppelin just going to pick them up. So Goblin Zeppelin play very annoying against the Night Elf, as they're constantly dropped, able to deal damage and pick back up once more. One footman gets taken out, but well, Chaemiko not really concerned about that, just freeing up supply on those tier 1 units that, well, may not be necessary here since we're already at castle. Druid of the Claw and Goblin Shredder here fighting against these Goblin Zeppelins. We're looking at units making their way across the side here. Level 4, level 3 going up against 4-3-2. 4-3-2. And now, well, a potential... Oh, Cannon Tower's already done. We're going to see these Dryads get splatted down so quickly as they're trying to fight back here. There's some Fork Lightning, perhaps trying to take down some of these buildings as well as the Town Hall nearing completion. One Dryad already taken out. There's going to be a cancellation. Perhaps going after a Dryad there. Staff of Preservation perhaps online for that Dryad. We see Shadow Meld. Wow! Archmage gets absolutely bursted down, well, by Shadow Strike, Fan of Knives, and Fork Lightning. Paladin gets up to level 3 as the Paladin now backs away with Divine Shield. Stormbolt onto the Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch could have a very bad day. Staff of Preservation transfer. Warden, Staff of Sanctuary used up as well. Mountain King does have another bullet in the chamber. Could try and go after the Warden. Are we going to see some more damage? Archmage back out onto the battlefield. Stormbolt onto the Druid of the Claw. We're looking at more damage. Druid of the Claw could be in some serious trouble as the, well, Fan of Knives goes down to try and finish off some more units. This Druid of the Claw, Staff of Preservation is going to be in time. No Staff of Preservation. Stormbolt finishes off that Druid of the Claw there. The supply difference, 36 supply compared to 57. Now very obvious as the, well, human army is just that much larger. Warden heading back home. Gets a little bit more, well, Clarity Potion, looking to try and get to level 3. Naga Sea Witch gets a little bit experience there as we're looking at still more damage. All right, LawLiet using the creeps as a meat shield, trying to poke apart, and now the Warden going to be coming back across here. We're going to see some more Stormbolts, perhaps. And there's some more Fork Lightning. Mountain King forced to retreat back. No Staff of Preservation. No, there's finally the Staff of Preservation. There's a Fan of Knife. There goes another Peasant. And we're still looking at more damage being added across here. All right, our Dryad trying to retreat back or trying to keep a little bit of distance. More Staff of Sanctuary, so dual Staff of Sanctuary going up against one single Staff of Preservation. Warden does have a potion of invulnerability, uses it in time. There's a Wand of the Wind. Dryad could get taken down. What is going to go down? Staff of Sanctuary saves here. Are we going to see another Stormbolt go down here? That's going to be a problem as the Warden goes straight after the Paladin and finishes the job. All right, Warden going to be low on hit points. Naga Sea Witch down to 43 hit points. Going to use the Scroll of Town Portal. Units are trying to retreat back every which way, and they will go ahead and reset. 42 supply compared to 66. Army sizes are or supply size very, very much in favor of Chaemiko, but he is running on 3 bases and does also have towers at the bases to protect. Less than 3.5 minutes of mining left. Well, 4.5 minutes in the main base for LawLiet. Warden just trying to get every bit of hit points and use every bit of moon juice that they can. 400 mana out of these moon wells. Druids of the Claw out here on the battlefield. 41 supply compared to 66. All right, in terms of overall economy, what, 4 out of 5 here, 5 out of 5 here, so overall gold, 14 gold, 14 gold, maybe 19 gold a second compared to 10 gold a second because of the way how taxes work in this game. 2-2 upgrades going up against 2-2 upgrades on those siege engines and 1-2 upgrades for the Spellbreakers and those Knights. All right, Moonstone quickly used once more. Naga Sea Witch also with an orb, now with the Orb of Venom, perhaps not using cold arrows nearly as often. Anti-magic potion. Oh, we're looking at cold arrow, perhaps going to finish off that last Goblin flying machine. No, the flying machine, not a Goblin flying machine, the flying machine able to get back here. Dryads trying to get some slow poison or some poison down, but it is a mechanical unit, so not slowed down by the Dryads, only the cold arrows of that Naga Sea Witch. Mountain King now sitting at level 4 as well. Paladin sitting at level 3, bringing in 2 scrolls of regeneration. Interesting fighting overall as the, well, Paladin or the Warden comes across here. There's some Staff of Sanctuaries trying to finish off some of those heals. Peasants getting taken down by their own guard tower to deny that Warden the ability to get to level 6. So the guard towers actually denying and killing off their own units. And now this makes a lot of sense, as you can transfer peasants from the main base over. You don't need that many peasants overall. LawLiet trying to set up an expansion here on the top left. That is not going to be successful, as this main base is going to be finished mining in about 2.5 minutes. Main base here, about a minute more of mining. Both sides are trying to get into the right situation. And remember that Avatar of Vengeance can often act as a third hero, a very powerful third hero. And that's exactly what, well, LawLiet is trying to do. Chaemiko trying to stop that. One Moonwell has a little bit of moon juice. Didn't get any of that last bit of moon juice there. Bit of mana is going to be incredibly important. 80 supply compared to 50. There's another fan of knives. Anti-magic potion, I believe, well, used to try and stop. There's a Staff of Sanctuary. A lot of damage being absorbed. Both sides still fighting. Are we going to see another fan of knives? Yes, we do, as the Warden is going to try and back away. Warden dangerously low on hit points, down to 430, needs to get a rejuvenation off. We're going to see a low hit point Drew to the Claw, perhaps back up 80 supply compared to 46, and this is a tipping point. LawLiet needs to hold this off and try and get to level 6 if he has any chance of victory. Meanwhile, the Moonwell in the back here, there's a rejuvenation. We need to see a lot more mana. Clarity Potion onto that Warden as well. And, well, he is 197 experience shy from level 6. That seems like a mountain of experience right now if he wants to get back into it, especially with the Warden taking half of that experience as well. All right, it looks like some of those peasants, well, they should have been transferred over. 92 supply over 94. There's a big fan of knives. Holy light right there. The Staff of Sanctuary should be on cooldown. Stormbolt onto the Warden. Warden dangerously low on hit points. Gonna try and back away again. We're gonna perhaps see another fan of knives to, well, eat through some of the hit points on those knights, though, as the siege engine's now rolling on in to try and take down the Altar of Elders. Staff of Sanctuary should be able to make some work there. There's some Fork Lightning, there's some damage. Stormbolt, Warden could be in trouble. Warden really needs to use that fan of knives and that anti-magic potion in order to come back across there. Gonna try and shake off some of that damage. We're gonna see an anti-magic potion. Didn't use it earlier. There's a big fan of knives. They're trying to take down some more. Warden now down to 285 hit points and 96 experience shy of level 6. Naga Sea Witch also down. Another Staff of Sanctuary and another. And all of the saves is what's denying that Warden that last bit of experience. All right, fighting in a Night Elf base during Nightfall does give Night Elf the ability to constantly just regenerate hit points, as the Warden, well, uses that anti-magic shell to try and shake off some of that Stormbolt damage, but is still dangerously low. Now down to 70 hit points. Is he going to try and fight away here? Going to go ahead and Staff a Preservation. Blinks towards the Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch is in trouble. Naga Sea Witch is going to get taken down. No, level 5 now on the Naga Sea Witch. What is happening here? Naga Sea Witch trying to retreat all the way back, and no, trying to find some additional Moonwells. Are we going to reach that tipping point? That is the question, as the siege engines are still pushing through. No more gold mine, and it has been the game. Well, Paladin dangerously low. Are we going to see, oh, Wand of the Wind removing the Naga Sea Witch from the equation, not being able to Staff of Preservation the Warden, and that is the game. LawLiet, well, how's the Naga Sea Witch backing away? I thought LawLiet had already left, so those units should have been stationary. That was not the case there. But a beautiful game overall between LawLiet and Chaemiko. Let me know what you think could have been done differently. Did LawLiet just give Chaemiko too much time to really translate that gold mine, the mined gold difference? Look at this. This is a 7,500 gold difference in gold mined, not even accounting for the gold lost to upkeep. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.